Assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm Xiwen. I I'm a PhD student in history. At the moment now I live with my family in California. I became Muslim when I was 19, 20, so it was about 6 or 7 years ago. I was originally from China, and my family has no religious belief. None of them has, not even Buddhism or Christianity. I would say they probably are what we call probably atheist. I came across Islam, I guess, first when I was studying history because I was a history student. We were studying about world history. Islam was one of the major religions, and also I was interested in the history of the Middle East, so I had the opportunity to kind of not entirely Islamic history, but kind of study the history of the Muslim societies. That probably would count as my first encounter with Islam. The breaking point in my life about, when it comes to investigating about Islam probably would be the passing away of my grandmother. I had a very close relationship with her. So before my grandmother passed away, I had always known about the teachings of Islam, about death, about afterlife, about life, about that death is inevitable, and death is a very strong and very cruel force in our life. But if we are guided as according to the Quran, death is actually our beginning, not necessarily an end. But I truly see the reality of death when my grandmother passed away, which was a life event that even until today I'm still trying to come to terms with. But that probably will be the breaking point that really showed me the reality of death and how it is actually very close to us, and no matter how much we try to avoid it. So I think what has affected me the most about Islam is probably its teachings about the purpose of being good in this life. I came from a family where, although there's no religious belief, and my family has always been, they have always been emphasizing the importance of being a good person, of morality, of being close to family. However, what was missing in that teaching given by my parents, given by my family, is probably the purpose of it. Because, for example, one can be good in their life, but they may, in this life, they may suffer horrible things. I think that's exactly what we're seeing nowadays, what is happening around the world to Muslims, especially Muslims in Palestine, in China, everywhere. You may be good, but your life may not necessarily be that good. So what is the purpose of it? What is the point of being a good person? I guess Islam gives the answer very clearly. That is, the purpose is God. There's a creator who has created us, and it is for him that we want to be good, and he has taught us how to do so in the Quran and by our prophet. So that probably is the one point that I would say that has affected me the most. After I converted, I didn't really get help from a particular person, but I would say I got information from books, because I have always been an avid reader. I read across subjects. So probably reading and researching by myself, looking for information and trying to put them together, trying to put them against each other together to see which one is the wisdom that I'm supposed to take, is what happened after I converted to Islam. But I would say many people came to my life, many Muslims came to my life, and they have been a good model to me to follow. Not necessarily scholars, but very ordinary Muslim who has taught me about what it means to be good, what it means to be a good friend, a good neighbor, a good, just good stranger. When you come across someone once in life, how he treated you. So I guess ordinary Muslims in the places that I have lived, I have visited, they have taught me the important lessons about Islam. Before I became Muslim, I did strongly feel that something was missing, but I couldn't really name it. I wouldn't really call it a purpose, but I would call it a higher being, a higher end that as human beings or as humanity as a whole that everyone should strive for. I couldn't really name it. I didn't know it was God or it was called Allah because it did not exist in the environment that I grew up in. What was really missing was really the higher end that everyone should strive for. And that is what I believe would give us strength and patience and light in every circumstances. Even if you are in the darkest moment of your life, you would feel hope just by virtue of knowing that higher end. And after Islam, I know what it was. It is Allah and His pleasure that we are seeking. In terms of lifestyle change, I didn't really feel my lifestyle has really changed. Of course, that like Islam prescribes specific practices such as prayer and fasting, and charity and many other things. But in terms of lifestyle in general, nothing really has changed. It seems that I have enjoyed living a life that is very simple and quiet, and that is what I have always enjoyed. So Islam just gives me more of that in that aspect. My views of Islam before I converted, I wouldn't say I had any specific view because I just didn't know enough to have a specific view about Muslims or about Islam. But I would say that I have always felt, for example, towards certain Islamic practices, like, for example, ladies wearing hijab or fasting, I have always felt it as a very normal thing to do. Before I converted, I know like people around the world, even nowadays, there has been lots of anger or hostility towards such things. But I have always felt that it's just normal. There's nothing to be, amazed about. There's nothing to feel strange about it. So that was my view before it. And afterwards, since I didn't really have a specific view after I converted, I just transformed from no view to appreciating its rulings and what Islam has taught us. So after I converted, I appreciated more why someone should pray, someone should wear hijab, someone should fast, someone should remember Allah often. Simply appreciate it more because it only has made my life better, and it gives me strength and power the most when I was in need, and it makes me content. I'm perfectly happy in whatever situation I have been in, alhamdulillah. So that probably would be a change compared to before. In terms of my conversion, my family's reaction was perhaps, let's say, a few years back, they were quite shocked because they couldn't figure out why I became Muslim in London when I was studying there, and I'm a Chinese. Why would I embrace something so foreign and so different from what they know and what they know about the West? They were shocked, and then they became frustrated. They didn't know how I would become. But I guess gradually, especially nowadays, alhamdulillah, they have become more and more used to it. They see the development. They didn't see it as a bad influence on me. They could say that I'm on the right track, whatever they understand it to be. So now they have become softer, but I would say there definitely has been a very tough process of struggling or trying to prove yourself, especially to your loved ones, especially to those whom you care about. You care about their opinion about you. You care about what they would think of you. But I would still say the process is probably still going on, but I can definitely see that it has come to a point where there has been more understanding and acceptance. Inshallah, what I hope is that there will be curiosity. They will be curious to know about Islam, not only just limited to acceptance, but also curiosity, and eventually also see the light of our religion. Recommendations to those who want to become Muslim, I would always say that to myself first, and then to others, that is to be true to who we are, to be true to our past, to our present, to be sincere to ourselves, to be honest with ourselves. Because that's the first step to really know the beauty and the strength and the power that the Quran and our prophets and Allah can give us.